Roblox is best described as a sea of games. It's vast, open, and you can practically find a game about anything. Even some less savory, polluted ones, only found in the most depraved and dark areas. However, the Roblox sea is not an ordinary sea. Yes, see? It's a sea that is unfortunately as shallow as a pond, maybe even a puddle. Roblox is a sea that lacks literally any depth. However, somehow, by a miracle, there is a trench that has recently appeared in this Roblox sea. A trench called Forsaken. Roblox games can be sorted into 3 categories. The first category, and I believe the majority of Roblox games to be, suck absolute ass. These are junk games with horrible gameplay and no or low amounts of redeemable qualities. A lot of them just have nothing to do or are weird. Looking at you, David. Sometimes these games have some semblance of progression, but usually it's just a cash grab. What I'm getting at here is that these games have trash gameplay, no creativity, and you'll probably quit them before you've even played 30 minutes worth of the game. I call this the 30-minute rule. Then, in the next category, you have mediocre or alright games. Ones that are interesting, have a gimmick, or some actual creativity that keeps you hooked. And to be fair, these games are actually good in the moment, especially with friends, of which I have none. But 30 minutes later, you're bored, leave, and look for something else. This is a lot of Roblox games, and a lot of the ones you're gonna play. At least for me. Fun for a few moments, then you realize the gameplay is kind of boring, and you just leave and move on to the next mediocre game. Like a horrible cycle, like a snake eating itself. Okay, that's a bit too dramatic. Alas, hope is not lost, because sometimes, if you're very, very lucky, you'll find a game that's actually fun. A game that you can play for more than an hour. A game that isn't a cash grab, isn't stolen gimmicks, unoriginal or passionless. An actual video game on Roblox. Usually, these games are hidden, low player counts, 1 in a million, and they are slow in updates. You play all there is to play, and the game dries out. But for the first time in forever, there is a game like that, what I just described, that is great, popular, and has amazing potential. That game is Forsaken is one of those games, a 1 in a million game. In Roblox standards, obviously. Sorry guys, I can't get caught glazing a game with a fandom like this.
Leave me alone!
Anyways, the gameplay is genuinely good and actually creative with an actually unique concept that I haven't exactly seen and played before. I've played this game for over 13 hours now. And surprisingly, I actually want to keep playing. Astonishing, I know, but you have to understand, for Roblox, this is genuinely gold. Depth is the word I am clinging to today. Forsaken has actual depth, skills to learn, multiple characters to play and master, gameplay to game. Depth is really, really important for any game. Especially multiplayer games. Honestly, it's how you keep players playing. When the depth dries up, the player count drops and the game dies. Updates help slow this, but at the end of the day, the concept of your video game has to have depth. Now Forsaken has a deep amount of depth. Peak writing, guys, peak writing. And this truly makes Forsaken special. Okay. I've talked about the depth, let's actually show it. Well, I kinda lied, I'm just gonna talk about it a bit more. Forsaken is an asymmetrical horror game. There's no clear definition of what this is online, so An asymmetrical horror game, in layman's terms, just means an unbalanced horror game. Think teams with different numbers and or powers. By far, the most well-known asymmetrical horror game is Dead by Daylight, where one killer faces 4 survivors, each with separate items, abilities, and directive, which I also play.
Oh.
Also, note down how I said known the most and not most popular, because Forsaken actually has more players than DBD now. 1 to the children, 0 to DBD. Anyways, back to the definition. Horror just means scary. Forsaken is pretty scary, dude. Continuing on, in Forsaken there are 2 teams, 1 killer and up to 8 survivors. The objective of the killer is to kill all the survivors, and the survivors to stay alive long enough until this handy dandy timer runs out. Before the game starts, you're all in the same lobby, and I'm just gonna fit this in here. The killer selection in this game is actually really creative and fair, and I enjoy it so much. Basically, whenever you do gens, or just play the game normally as the survivor, you will gain malice. If you have the highest malice in the lobby, you will be killer. Like, less formal, that's just such a good system. It's not like RNG to become killer, it's a set amount that you just need to be. Anyways, after that, everyone spawns on a random map, and there are the aforementioned generators. I love big words. That when completed, shorten the timer, and are also pretty enjoyable, where you do interesting puzzles that make me look like an absolute dumbass, instead of just holding M1 and pressing space a couple times for 90 seconds, looking at you, DBD. And when these are completed, they shorten the timer. In the meantime, while you're actually getting chased, there are a bunch of random objects, buildings, map hazards, killer exclusive walls, placed around to make looping and running from the killer or chasing the survivors more interesting. Simple, right? Wrong! Mostly. The gameplay I just described is pretty fun in and of itself, finding, hiding, running, chasing, but the beauty comes from the 2 more things I'm about to describe that make Forsaken Forsaken. Number 1, stamina management. Basically, the main gimmick of Forsaken is stamina. Stamina has 3 statistics: maximum, depletion, and regeneration. Both the killers and survivors have stamina, obviously. Killers 110, survivors 100 on the max, and survivors have a depletion rate of 10 and killers 9.5 per second while sprinting. And also, the killers do not have any stamina depletion unless they're close to the survivors. Stamina regeneration determines how much stamina is given back when a character is not sprinting. All survivors in the game have a stamina regen rate of 20 and killers 21 per second. And you're never meant to hit 0 stamina because you get a 2-second delay before stamina regen starts. And finally, killers are faster when sprinting and slower when walking than survivors. Oh, and by the way, there's an update coming, probably after this video or maybe during its making, that buffs all the killer stats to do with stamina. Anyways, all you really need to know is that the killers move faster, for longer, and can do it more. But not too much, so that survivors also get a fighting chance. Basically, the main way you prolong the killer chasing you is to use your stamina wisely. Aptly named stamina management. Juke them, run from them, etc. I could only think of 2 things. Same goes for the killer. But you may be thinking, hold on, Krakoon, Oliver. If the killer just chases you long enough, they're bound to kill you. They're faster. And that's where, in my opinion, the best part of Forsaken comes into play. Abilities.
Halo? Are you ugly on purpose?
Right now, there are 5 different killers and 10 survivors, with another killer and survivor joining the game soon in the new update. I'm not gonna lie to you, it would take so long to explain all of them individually, so let me just give you a rundown. Survivors are split into 3 main groups. Survivalists, as the name implies, where you got a noob and a dad who can clone stuff. Sentinels are there to protect other teammates by directly stunning the killer with weapons or even a gun. You got Chicken Man, Army Dude, Respawning Knife Kid, wait, is that Solid Snake? And a chronic gambler. And supports. to either heal or place traps, or distractions to slow the killer or heal teammates. Finishing off with a minimum wage employee, pumpkin magic man, builder man, oh wait, that actually checks out, and landmine emoji friend. Now, the killers, my favorite, are a little more interesting. Even with sometimes overlapping abilities, they all feel really unique and fun, with different playstyles, strategies, and niches. Jason, Slasher, is literally as the name implies, mainly a melee killer. Then John Doe, a hacker that acts as a slower trapper type killer. 1x1x1x1, more of a ranged focus killer that can stun you, apply poison, etc. Cool Kid, the fastest killer with a burning effect, and my favorite, and Noli, an also fast but tracker type killer. They all have pretty unique abilities except for the last two, which have similar dashes and projectiles, kinda. But personally, I played 13 hours of this game and I still haven't barely scratched the surface of the characters. I have characters I haven't even touched yet, and there is definitely a killer and survivor for practically anyone out there, and almost all of them have a high skill ceiling to spend time to master. And this links all back to the point. This is what makes Forsaken so special. The depth. The depth in this game is just so good. There is so much to do, to learn, to experience, to play. This is an actual video game. Forsaken is amazing in terms of a Roblox game, and you are actually going to keep playing. That is what makes Forsaken so special. Its depth. The game is good, you should play it, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, bro. And as always, please support the channel. I'd be really grateful. So, if you would be so kindly to subscribe, share, help a boy out. Come on, man. Please. I'd be grateful. Thank you. God bless. Watch the Florida Project. And see ya. Oh, and also I'm gonna start streaming.